Hey there, this is Dr. Renee Pleasant of Pleasant Leadership Consulting, where we inspire your leadership freedom. So today marks a whole new series that I'm talking to you about, and it's all on time management tips. And well, who among us can't benefit from that? So if you haven't done so, please go ahead and take a moment and save yourself some time and subscribe to our YouTube channel here, Leadership University. And that way, every Friday when we upload a new segment in this series, you will be notified and you'll get first notifications on this series. So go ahead and save yourself some time and hit that subscribe button. So I found this quote, and I found it to be quite relevant. It says, "Time is non-refundable, so use it with intention," and we should. Hey guys, it's Dr. Renee Pleasant of Pleasant Leadership Consulting, and I'm back. And this starts our first of 6 segments within this series on time management tips. And where else should we begin other than prioritization? Because if you want to manage your time, you need to first prioritize it. So let's just jump in, shall we? Okay, guys, this method is amazing, and it was actually created by President Eisenhower, well, when he was a general, before he became president, and it is super, super easy. And if it worked for a general during the war, and if he used it during presidency, you know it's going to work for you. So basically what you do is you take your piece of paper and you divide it into 4 quadrants, okay? So in the top left, you have your urgent, top right, you have non-urgent, the bottom left, you have your delegate and your delete. So, why do I need to explain it to you? It's right there on the screen. So step 1, you're going to determine if the task that you have is urgent or if it's important. There is a difference, okay? Urgent tasks are the ones that demand immediate attention because the consequences of you not doing them are going to affect you, immediately. They are like, I don't want to say life or death, but they have steep consequences, okay? Now, important tasks are the ones that are going to help you to achieve a particular goal that you have set for yourself or the organization, and they're going to be critical to your objective, whether that's personal or professional. So those are going to be the ones that you're going to, the urgent and important ones are the ones that you're going to do. The not urgent ones are the ones you're going to schedule. And then the ones that are not important but are urgent, you're going to delegate to somebody else. And there is a whole thing between delegating and dumping, and that's a whole different series. And if it's not urgent and it's not important, it's out of here. You delete that. Just because it's given to you or it's on paper doesn't mean you have to own it. Think about that for a minute. This is an amazing, amazing system. I highly recommend you implementing it. Okay. If you know me in person or if you get to know me, you're going to know that I live and die by my to-do list. Absolutely 100%. If it does not get recorded, it does not happen. So for many years, I did it in paper form. So here are some samples of the paper form. They have some really cute O-Matic pre-printed to-do list. And you can find those on Amazon or any stationery store. And I gave you some samples here on the screen. For years, I just did mine in a composition book, or I did it in just a bound, like a bound book that had like a cloth cover, and then I had like a rubber closure to it. Whatever works for you is fine. I have since gone from the written to electronic just because it's just easier for me to keep up with. But I gotta tell you, I do like the written because I just like seeing what I've accomplished. So for me, for this stage of my life, the electronic just works best for me, but there's nothing wrong with having the written form. So as I said, this is a continuation of the to-do list, and so whether you are old school, the paper, or if you like something a little more compatible with your active lifestyle, here are some of the electronic forms. This is not an inclusive list. I personally use the top one, Todoist. it's like a to-do list. We're just dropping the L. And I gotta tell you, I absolutely love it. The one thing I'm not a big fan of, because I kind of like seeing my accomplishments, is once you check off the task, it's gone. But I can get over that. I know what I've done. Um, there are a ton of these, and like I said, this is not inclusive, but I believe you have to have a list of the things you need to do, because no matter whether you are 18 or 81, our memory just cannot retain all the things that you need to do as a leader, because you need to be focusing on other things other than your task. You need to be focusing on your people. Welcome back to another edition in our time management tools. And this one is about task grouping. This is critical for you to maximize your prioritization of time, and then to get the most completed in the time that you have, so that you can do more with your time. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Now, this seems logical, but I got to admit, from personal experience and just observing other people, this is one of the things that is obvious, but we don't always do it, and that is to put similar tasks together. So when you look at the day ahead, you should be chunking like items together. And you need to be doing those things together so you can conquer more in less time. Okay, guys, this is a confession. For years, I thought I was a proficient multitasker. I don't know if it's because I'm a woman, or because I'm a mom, or because like I'm I don't know, but I was wrong. I was so wrong. And as I've gotten older, I have realized that when I look back on my past and my years as a young leader, the science backs me up that multitasking is ineffective. You lose efficiency and productivity. So this slide may be controversial to some of you, and maybe you are currently walking in your leadership walk where I was at. And so this slide may kind of rub you the wrong way. And I'm sorry if it does, but trust me on this. Multitasking is ineffective, and we're going to talk about some statistics as to why it's ineffective on the next slide. So just bear with me. 98% of people who multitask can't do it effectively. Let me just say that again. 98%. That's like 9 out of 10 people who are doing more than one thing at a time. They're not doing it well. So let's not do it, shall we? Not only that, but when you are multitasking, your productivity decreases by 40%. That's 40. 40%. And shockingly, our IQ is lowered by approximately 10 points when we start multitasking. So, in case you didn't catch that, we become dumber when we do multiple things. Leaders, we cannot afford to multitask. I think this slide right here is pretty potent. We can't be effective, our productivity goes down, and we become dumber when we multitask. Can anybody say ouch? Does anybody need a Band-Aid? This slide hurts a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you. This one hurts. Welcome back for another segment in our series relating to time management. So today we're going to talk about how to use the time that we have effectively, because that's what we want to do. So we want to get through some of those mundane managerial things that we need to do so we can be with our people, right? That's what we want to do. We want to pour into our people. So let's talk about using our time effectively. So time is a fixed amount. We only have a set amount every day, and so let's get in front of that and let's control it by setting time limits for each task. Sounds easy. It's not. Okay, as I'm recording, there's cats outside my outside my window. So if you hear a big bang, that's what that is. All right, so let's talk about time boxing. I am a huge proponent for time boxing. This is one of the best ways, whether you are teaching children how to self regulate, or if you just need to, I don't know, teach yourself how to self regulate your time. So, time boxing is easy to do, and I'm going to teach you how to do it in 5 steps. Number one, find suitable task. Okay, so whatever your task is, find the task. Number two, you're going to define your goal. Number three, you're going to set your time limit, and number four, you're going to work to work and assess your results, and number five, you're going to claim your reward. So let's put that in practical steps. So let's say that I want to find my task. So I'm going to do my video recording. Cats on the roof pending. So I say I'm going to set aside 2 hours to record my YouTube video. All right. So that's my goal. I'm going to set aside 2 hours for recording, not the editing, just the recording. So I set my time, 2 hours. Number four, I'm going to work and assess my results. I'm going to set my 2 hours. I'm going to do the video recording. I'm going to play it back, make sure it all flows correctly. And number five, I'm going to claim my reward. If I can get it done effectively in 2 hours, i.e., the cats on the roof not interrupting me, then my reward will be okay. Like I like ice cream, so I might treat myself to an ice cream. I need a reward because I'm rewards based motivated. Okay, maybe it's something else. Maybe I will take a walk around the area or something. Maybe I'll go outside for a little bit. What is your reward? Because truthfully, I can't have ice cream every time I accomplish a task because well, it's not good for my diet. So I block off on my calendar 2 hours to record Leadership University. If I finish ahead of time, that's great. I get my reward, whatever it is. Today's ice cream because I really want some ice cream. But it's super simple. I'm also going to talk next on the next slide about buffers because things happen like cats outside my window when I decide to film. So let's talk about that next. You're going to want to build in some buffers. So whenever you plan an event, you want to put a little bit of a buffer before and after in your calendar for the just in case. For instance, whenever I take a conference call, I know my conference call is going to take about 30 minutes or 45 minutes if I'm doing a coaching call. However, I block off 15 minutes beforehand and about 15 minutes after just to allow myself prep time to get my notes ahead and my paperwork ahead, any questions I want to ask my client, and then the same for afterwards, any notes I want to write up and just send to that person afterwards. If it's a little bit more of a complicated case with the client, I may block off 15 minutes beforehand for the prep, but I might block off 30 minutes afterwards because I may want to write detailed notes and send to the client afterwards. That is going to be my calendar buffing. That way, I'm not booking back-to-back client calls and then I'm running behind. And that way, I'm able to process the paperwork as well as the time with the client. These are time savers that stop me from being in the weeds and behind all the time. So think about your blocking, your time blocking, and then adding those buffers in as well. Same thing if you travel. Like when I travel to go meet a client, I put in my time buffers and account for traffic. Oh yes, account for traffic. So I put that into my calendar as well. Welcome back for another segment relating to time management. This is a segment you may not have thought about, and it's a segment on your vocabulary, the most empowering word. What could that word be? Let's find out, shall we? Leaders, your power word to regain your time is the word no. Say it with me, no. The word no is going to enable you time. It's going to help you manage your time. It's going to give you back time. Again, leaders, say it with me. The word is no. Leaders, I want you to look at this page or this slide, and I want you to really think about it. Because as leaders, we're almost conditioned to not say the word no. Yes, I know that's a double negative. When we say no, we are actually taking control of our life. We are reducing our stress, therefore, our followers are having less stress. We are increasing our confidence because we're setting our boundaries. We are gaining respect of others. And we're gaining perspective because we're not taking everything personally. And most importantly, we are managing our time and we are living our better life. No is not an evil word. And I say that especially for the leaders who are females, because somehow, somewhere along the way, female leaders were taught that you're not allowed to say no. That was like a subconscious or a subliminal message that was fed to us in Leadership 101. And that's just bogus. So let me say it again. Leaders, say the vocabulary word that's going to gain you more time. Say it with me. No. All right, so we know that the way we say our words matter. Our tone, our inflection, our body language, all of that is conveyed in. And when you're using a power word like no, we have to be careful. So let's look at ways that we can soften that message to our followers or to other colleagues when we want to use this power word no. So here are some options. Feel free to tweak them in a way that best fits your personality and best fits the situation. These are not inclusive. These are just suggestions. So one way could be, unfortunately, I have too much to do today. I can help you another time. Sorry, I have already committed to something else. I hope you understand. The timing right now isn't good. Can you keep me in mind for next time? How about you try it on your own first and then I can help you? I enjoyed helping you last time, but I am overcommitted to assist you right now. Again, these are just suggestions. These are ways that may or may not fit your personality. Find words that fit your personality, that fit your situation. Now, this seems obvious that the best way to manage your time is to eliminate distractors. But you're going to see as we delve into this segment within the series about time management that it's a little bit more than you think. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Did you know that the average employee is interrupted every 15 minutes? Like that's 4 times an hour. They're interrupted. And we're not talking about how long they're interrupted. So in an 8-hour day, and they're interrupted 4 times, let's do the math. That's 32 interruptions in a day. What? Bless the hearts of our coworkers. They are responsible for a lot of those interruptions. Those little one-on-one conversations, they interrupt us a lot. So you want to stop those? Be direct, but be discreet. Let them know that their frequent chats are impacting your work productivity. Okay? So there's a lot of mixed feelings in the workplace about the closed door policy. Guys, you know the closed door is figurative, right? Like the open door, closed door, it's figurative. Open door policy, if you need to close your door to get some work done. Here's what I suggest. I think that if you keep your door closed all the time, yeah, I think that puts out a signal that you are unapproachable and, well, I think that's just rude. Okay, but if you are closing your door to meet a deadline, I think that is totally acceptable. If you want to soften the blow, you can just put a sign on your door saying, "Hey, I'm working to meet a deadline, and I will be available at X time." People understand it because they are working in the same office and they have deadlines too. And if you have Sally Sensitive who can't respect that you have a sign on the door saying, hey, I'm working on a project and I'll be available after 1 o'clock, then that's Sally Sensitive's problem, not yours. Unless you're the person who always closes the door and doesn't talk, then that's your problem. Now, earbuds. If they are allowed, go ahead and put your earbuds in. I know some people, like I'm the person, like I do well with music, but not everybody wants to hear everybody's music genre. What is rude is if you have your earbuds in and you can't hear when someone's talking to you. So a solution or a compromise is to put one earbud in so that you can hear when somebody else comes to your door or whatever side your door is on. So I'm just saying there has to be a compromise somewhere. Think it through. You're an adult. Act like one. So if you need something to tune out the chatter in the bullpit, put one earbud in that's closest to the bullpit, but still have an ear open so that when somebody comes by or your phone is ringing, you can hear it. You can't just go away. You still have to interact with people. That's kind of what you do in your job. Regardless of what your job is, you still have to interact with people. Did you know that the average person touches their phone a couple thousand times a day? And the average person will check their phone 47 times a day. So that means if you're working an 8-hour day, you could be checking your phone 6 times an hour. That's a lot of distractions. Now keep in mind, that is excluding your colleagues distracting you. So phone distractions are one thing, colleagues distracting you is a different thing, and we're not even talking about the noise in the background. It's amazing we get any work done at all in the office. So my suggestion is to set your phone aside, turn off your notifications so you're not getting alerted every time an Instagram comes around or your Facebook comes around or your stock is going up or down. Set them all aside. Now, I get it. Your Ring doorbell alerts when your child gets home, or you've got a notification for your child's classroom teacher for a behavior modification or behavior system. You get alerted when they make their behavior. I understand. You can set a specific vibration or whatever your needed notifications are. Set those. But you don't have to have all of your apps notifying you every time there is an update. Be selective in the work environment because your colleagues don't need to know every time you have a friend updating on the social media account. Be selective. So thus far, we've talked about the distractions of colleagues stopping by. We've talked about your phone being a distraction, but in some of the office environments, instant messaging, whether it's one of the platforms that they use, that can be quite distracting. So dedicate times to check your instant messaging, whether it's your personal instant messaging or whether it's something that is within the company. I would say if you are a leader and you are in that position to make these suggestions or decisions, I would push for an encrypted chat app because we've talked about how many times the phone is a distraction, and we've talked about how many times just the chatting when they're walking by. So you can already say A plus B, and then you add instant messaging. You can already draw the conclusion of how much technology plus people distracts a follower from their work. So you put instant messaging, that's technology plus people. You can see where the distractions flow for people on the job. So that instant messaging, it can really be a huge distractor in the workplace. And if instant messaging is a distractor, social media is especially a distraction. However, many of the jobs today require employees or followers to literally follow on social media, follow their clients, or to follow the business. So I'm not a proponent that social media totally be out of the workplace. I think it's a needed element. I think it's needed a platform that is needed. It enhances the job and it's a necessary skill. However, it is a slippery slope. So set times that you are checking your personal social media and hold to them, because you can go on it for the job and the next thing you know, you're checking your own social media, and then you get caught up in the reels, and then you get caught up in the in TikTok, and you get caught, and the next thing you know, you've lost 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour. And with all due respect, your leader is not paying you to post on your own social media or to watch all of those videos. I mean, you can watch a lot of 30-second reels and TikTok videos in an hour. That's just not fair. So change your notifications, and just stay true to the time limit that you set, whether it's on your lunch break or when you take a quick break, when you're walking around the building or what have you. Stay true to the person or the organization that is has bought your time in the form of a salary. Okay, as if the social media, the instant messaging, the telephone or the cell phone itself, as if the peers are not enough of a distraction. You have the internet as a distraction. I mean, it's like the workplace is like its own little pain place. We've got all kinds of distractions. We got all kinds of little temptations. So, leaders, again, if you have a voice or you have a choice, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you consider some sort of web extension or some sort of system that monitors your followers on the internet. Now, I'm not saying you got to lock it down, okay, because that's just going to have your IT all up in arms. But your followers need to be monitored, because the web is a one rabbit hole after another. It really is. And you're paying them to perform a job. And they it's addicting. And they'll go after one rabbit hole after another after another. And I'm not talking about the going into inappropriate sites, because and leaders, you know that they do that. You know they'll do that. But we have to really make sure that they're there doing the job that they need to do. So look at putting extensions on there that keep them focused for the job that they are there for. Welcome back, and warning, because my inner organizing nerd alert is going to go into full blown in this segment. Oh my goodness, I love this. Like, I could just spend all day in a office supply store, or like in the stationery aisle of any store. I love office supplies and I love organization. Oh my, I love this part. Okay, let's get started because I'm about to bust. All right, emails. They are like the bane of our existence. You want to reclaim some of your time? Unsubscribe to like half of your inbox. We end up giving our emails out to a lot of places, because at one time we want to be entered into a drawing, or we entered a selfie contest because we want a staycation or something like that, but then we forget to unsubscribe. Okay, so like once the contest is over, if you don't want their emails anymore, go to the bottom of the email and hit unsubscribe. unsubscribe. Stop scrolling past them or stop just hitting delete. Okay, why are you working harder? Go to the unsubscribe and stop them just from coming into your email box. You don't need to. Just stop them from coming to you. Stop wasting the time of hitting delete, hitting delete, or just ignoring them. Just go to the unsubscribe. Just no more. Okay, there are like two types of people in the world: those who are paper and those who are electronic. If you are in camp paper, we got to move you over to the electronic world. Like, you need to start scanning your information and putting it onto the cloud. All right? Because there is no reason for you to be purposely setting up a fire hazard in your facility. Like, on behalf of all the fire departments in the world, I'm giving you your PSA. Stop saving paper files. You need to convert all of your stuff into electronic. You just need to. Like, I do a lot of my financials. All of my statements are electronic. I try to get them to send it to me in the companies. But like, when I go shopping for stuff, like when I go to do business with them, if they can't provide me an electronic statement, I don't do business with them. I just don't. And then I save it to the hard drive, or the cloud. They even have There are even companies, if you have files of paper, they even have companies that will scan them for you. You don't want to scan them? There are companies that will scan your paper for you. If you are in the Northeast Florida, Southeast Georgia area, I know of a company that will do that for you. I can refer them to you. You don't want to do it? I got somebody to do it for you. Just just don't. Just go electronic. If you're not going to heed my warning from the previous slide and you insist on keeping paper, see, I knew there's going to be somebody out there who's going to insist on keeping paper. That's why I have this slide afterwards. Then you need to come up with a system that is going to work for you. I prefer notebooks over a filing system because they're sturdier. So come up with a system that works for you, whether it's notebooks or whether it is file folders. But I'm not going to go into great detail on how to organize that because I'm a proponent of electronic. But if you need help, I will help you with that. But just know I am camp electronic over camp paper. But I will help you with it. Okay, the Tickler system is an amazing system. It is primarily for those who are team paper, but I've adapted it for those of us who are team electronic. So let me tell you about the paper system first. So you're going to start off with like 43 folders, and I would store mine in my drawer of my desk. So the first 31 I labeled 1 through 31 to represent the days of the month. And then the remaining 12 I would label for the months of the year, so January through December. So I stored them in my drawer, the days of the month first, and then the months of the year. So, and they were in order. So let's just say this was the 19th of the month. So I would have 19 through 31 because this is the 19th day, so I want the current day forward. And then folders 1 through 18 would have already passed, so they would be behind 31 because as the day occurs, it's forward, and then as it passes, I would move it towards the back, so it's rotating. So the numbers are rotating forward. So as it occurs, I would move it back. And then behind that, same thing with the month. So let's say this was the month of March. So I would have March at the front of the month, which is behind the number of days. And then after December, you would have January, February, because it's currently March. And then after March passes, it would go to the back, and then April would be forward as far as the months. but the months are sitting right behind the days. All right. So as things would come through, the idea is that you touch the item one time. So if it was an agenda for a meeting, or if it's an invitation or something, whenever you were going to complete the task, you would put it in that date or that month. And I hear the cats. I have cats outside my window, so please ignore that sound. So let's say I got an invitation to speak at a banquet, and the banquet's going to be held on the 27th, but I decide I'm going to write my speech on the 20th. So I would put that invitation that I got like 4 weeks ago, I'm going to put it in the folder for the 20th, because that's the day I'm going to write my speech. So I put it in the folder on the 20th. So tomorrow, because today's allegedly the 19th, I pull out my folder for the 20th, and inside there are all the things I'm going to do on the 20th. So, oh look, I'm writing the speech that I'm going to present in 7 days. So I go in there and I'm like, oh, these are all my things to do, if you will. So I write my little speech. I'm done with it. I take my speech along with my invitation, and oh look, I have a note here. I have to get driving directions. Okay, so I'll pull up my driving directions. I clip my driving directions, my invitation, and my speech, and I take it now and I move it from the 20th folder and I move it to the 27th, because that's the night of the banquet, and I drop it in there. And then I say, oh, I think it would be a good idea if I write a thank you note on the 28th. So I clip a little note there, and because I want to say thank you for allowing me to speak at their banquet. I complete all my other tasks on the 20th. I take that folder and put it at the back of the days of the month. Okay, the 27th comes. I got my driving directions. I got my speech. I go to the banquet. I deliver the speech. They love it. I come back. I put my invitation on my desk. Oh, on the 28th, I need to write a thank you note for asking them to allow me to speak. I do that. I'm done with that invitation. It's all gone. As that goes through. Now, let's say I get I notice that I need to renew my professional liability insurance, but that's like 4 months out. Well, I don't need to put that in the file folders that are labeled by numbered dates. I need to put that in the month folder that is 4 months away. So I just slide that in there, and then when that month comes, I open it up, and then I file that by the date that that's going to occur. So that's the tickler system by paper. Now, I have since stopped doing it by paper because I am now team electronic and not team paper. So now what I do when I have these things come in by paper, I do the same thing. I just do it in electronic form. So what I would have done is I would have gone in on the 20th and say, write speech for banquet. And then on the 27th, I put my to-do list, or I put those things in there. I actually have a to-do list I put it on, but I put the items, and I use my tickler system electronically rather than through paper form. Tickler system is an amazing system to help keep you organized. I highly recommend it. If you need help with that, I can help you whether you want to do it through the paper system or the electronic system, but it is amazing in how it keeps you focused and has everything spread out so you're not feeling overwhelmed. Hey guys, this is Dr. Renee Pleasant of Pleasant Leadership Consulting, where we inspire your leadership freedom. I would love for you to stop by and visit our website at www.pleasantleadershipconsulting.com and see some of the workshops we offer. We have over 50 workshops there. So stop on by. But even more, I would love for you to take a moment and text the word pleasant to 85100, and then when asked, select opt in. And then that would give you the chance to be in the know of all of the leadership tips and information that is offered by Pleasant Leadership. And we send out probably about 2 to 3 little tidbits of information a week. And that's another way to stay connected to us here. So go ahead and text the word pleasant to 65100, and then they're going to ask you to opt in, and then just go ahead and say yes. Until we meet again, I hope every day is stellar, and leaders, please lead your followers well. They need it.